If you are thinking about moving to the Woodlands, here are 7 tips to get you started with your first visit here. Hi, and welcome to the Living in the Woodlands and Surrounding Areas YouTube channel. I'm your host, Sheryl Vecchio, and we are talking about the possibility of you moving to the Woodlands. So if you're planning a trip to visit here, you're probably thinking about moving here, and we are very excited about that. We recommend that you visit for at least a weekend prior to making a decision about moving here. Now, we realize that that's not always practical. Maybe you just found out that you are moving here in a few months, or maybe that you're short on funds. But if possible, a 3-day or 4-day trip would be optimum, but you could probably get a lot done in a weekend. By the way, this video is really for people in the exploratory phase of deciding if they want to move to the Woodlands. If you already know that you're going to be moving here in, say, 2 or 3 months, this video is probably a little bit lagging for you. You would be on a much more accelerated process. However, you can take some of these tips and use them. So here we go. Here are 7 tips for your first visit. The first tip is to book coffee with us. We would love to meet with you for coffee for an hour. Coffee's on us, and there are some great places here in the Woodlands for us to do that. We can also have that meeting by phone or by Zoom meeting. We just think getting together for coffee is much more personal and a better connection. That brings us to tip number 2. We won't be able to show you homes if you are just in the exploratory phase of thinking about moving here. Homes for sale on the market are for sale for those people that are serious about purchasing a home. It would be unethical of us to take you into someone's home if we knew that you hadn't even made the decision to move here. Which brings us to tip number 3. Come on a weekend so that you can visit open houses. Open houses are an excellent way for you to find out what our homes are like, and you are welcome at open houses. So check out Zillow and Realtor.com and look for homes that are going to be open the week of your visit so that you can plan to visit those homes. We recommend that you visit different homes in different villages. Every village in the Woodlands has its own unique personality, and location really matters. So you'll want to make sure you visit different villages while you're here. So that brings us to tip number 4. Put some miles on that rent-a-car. We not only want you to visit the cool places in the Woodlands like the Waterway and Market Street and Hughes Landing, we truly believe that you need to visit the different villages and those neighborhoods so that you can get an idea of where you want to live. So if you've been saving homes on Realtor.com and Zillow, even if the home's not perfect for you, go ahead and drive the neighborhood. Check out the parks, the area, how people take care of their yards, all those things you want to know about a neighborhood. And then when you come across things you like, make sure to do a screenshot of the map and also some pictures so you can talk about those things when you debrief later. That brings us to tip number 5. Take notes, take pictures, do screenshots of the map. It's easy to get confused here, and for me, hindsight is very confusing. And the Woodlands can be a little bit confusing when you first visit here. After all, we're in the woods. Everything is in the woods. So it's easy to get turned around. If you take those screenshots of the map and pictures of your surrounding areas, it's helpful to us when we can figure out where you want to live, and more importantly, where you don't want to live. So all those notes and screenshots become very important once you get home. Which brings us to tip number 6. Download our passport to the Woodlands. We get the question all the time, where should I go? Where should I eat? What's fun to do? Talk about schools and recreation. So we created the Passport to the Woodlands to answer all those questions. It's full of recreation, restaurants, local information, and vital information about the Woodlands. And lastly, tip number 7, book a follow-up trip. You will want to come back for a follow-up trip. First of all, life here is much different in February than it is, say, April. So you might want to come back at a different time of year. And if you find that this is home for you, you'll want to come back on a house hunting trip. So be sure to book that follow-up trip. So those are our 7 tips for your first visit to the Woodlands. We hope you found them helpful. We are so excited that you are interested in the Woodlands, and we were so excited to have you here on our YouTube channel. For more information about the area or more information about homes in the area, feel free to reach out to us. Brings us back to tip number 1. We are still offering that great cup of coffee. We'd love to spend an hour with you, and coffee's on us. Also, you can hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We publish a weekly video about the Woodlands, or you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter for events and things that are happening around the Woodlands. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next week.